Alex Hormozi eats 200 grams of protein per day. Outside of that, he pretty much eats whatever he wants. We're going to break down his diet and we're going to talk about his strategy. How this might work for you, but we also might pick apart a few things. Because it all depends on what you're doing. There is some nuance to be talked about here.
What I'm not saying is this is the most scientifically researched whatever. I'm just sharing what worked for me. If something works for you, just keep doing that. Number one is you have.
And a quick disclaimer, I'm not hating on Alex. I love his business content. I love what he's doing. I just want to go over his diet and point out what he's doing good and what he could improve. So you as a business entrepreneur, you can get some context and know how you're gonna eat and understand why he eats in his way and what will work best for you. And I'm not a reaction channel. I just want to provide context. And me, myself, I went from skinny to jacked, and now I help entrepreneurs build muscles, lose fat, and get jacked.
You have to figure out what your goal is. You're either trying to get bigger, you're trying to get smaller. From there, you start at number 7 all the way up to 21. My videographers will put it right here, 7 to 21. And every 3, you go from extreme weight loss to moderate weight loss to maintenance to moderate weight gain to extreme weight gain. All you have to do is multiply your body weight. So I'm gonna use 200 pounds as my average because it's easy with math. So let's say I'm a 200 pound guy and I wanna get leaner. I'm gonna go to moderate cut, which is the second from the bottom here of these 3, which you've got 10, 11, 12. And I'm gonna say 10 because it's easy math. And so I'm gonna multiply 200, which is my weight, times 10, which is this coefficient, which gives me, drumroll please, 2,000 calories, all right? Now, if you're like, doesn't it change? What about my exercise? And what if I have a physical job? Doesn't really matter. If you lose too much weight too fast, go to 11, you can adjust it. We've got 2,000 calories, great.
Alex Hormozi says that you should track your calories, you should aim for a certain number of calories. Personally, I never tracked my calories. I have never needed to do it, but I have been able to eat in a way that make me build more muscles, get leaner when I want to get leaner. For me, I've been able to get jacked without it. But if you struggle with not eating enough, if you're skinny or if you're eating too much, if you're fat, then tracking calories can be a good way for you to reach your fitness goals. And a small hack that you can use if you don't want to track calories every single meal, whatever you're eating, because you actually don't need to do it. If you do this one thing, you start eating in a way which supports your fitness goals. If it's losing fat, you start structuring your meals in a way that you're gonna lose fat. You eat more protein, less carbs, cut out junk food, and then you can track your calories the first few days. But then after that, if you eat the similar style, you eat the similar foods, the size of portions, then you can use your eyes. For example, me, I know my breakfast, I know how much protein it's. I don't know the calories because I don't really care about calories, but I know how much protein is. I eat 5 eggs and I know 5 eggs is 6 grams of protein in 1 egg, so that's 30 grams of protein. I know, for example, my breakfast, 30 grams of protein. I can just look and decide, okay, how much this food weigh. So I can know this looks 300 grams of meat. It's probably around 60 grams of protein, 20 grams of protein per 100 grams of meat. And you can do the same with calories if you want. You just find out of how much calories it is in your meals. Then you just track it a few times until you know and can see with your eyes how much it is. It's not gonna be super accurate all the times, but you can get a fair understanding on how many calories you're eating in that way. That is what I would do if you don't want to track every single food you eat, every single meal. You just track first few times, then you just use your eyes to decide on how much it is. And I had a coaching call, and I actually had a coaching call, and I actually had a coaching call with one of the viewers on this channel a few months ago, and he said that he was tracking calories. But I said to him, you can just eat in a way. You can just start eating in a way that you think will help you build more muscles, reach your fitness goals. And if you gain too much fat, then you can cut out that calorie dense foods a bit. And if it's going all right, but if you staying lean but you're not building any muscles, then you can add in some more food, add in some more protein, but then use adjust how you're eating. That's what I'm doing. For example, a few weeks ago, I wanted to get abs. My abs, I had okay abs, but I wanted to get shredded for the summer. I started with cutting out peanut butter. Did that for 1-2 weeks, but I had lost some fat, but I still wasn't like where I wanted. So I cut out almonds too. And then of doing that and also doing some cardio, I got that perfect I almost had that perfect six pack now that I wanted. I used to adjust my diet and know if I want more muscles, I eat more protein. If I want less fat, I take away calorie dense foods like peanut butter, nuts. It can be also carbs. I try to eat less carbs now. That's something you can try out instead of tracking calories. Just like adjust on the way, look in the mirror, see how it's going. Is your diet making you get where you want to go? If not, make some adjustments, see how that goes, and then you do like that. Then you do it like that. Very simple. And when you look into your mirror, you get the feedback if you're eating good or not. And by the way, if you want a coaching call, just like the guy I talked about, the top link in the description, but it's only for entrepreneurs that want to get jacked. So if you're an entrepreneur that want to get jacked, you can join it, get a free coaching call with me. I will help you out. Top link in the description if you want that.
Here's step 3. You multiply your weight, 200 pounds again, you multiply it by 1. Really hard math. Means 200 grams of protein. Some of the science nerds are gonna be like, you can only metabolize 0.7 grams per. Don't give a shit. Every pound of lean meat, white fish, ground turkey breast, 96.4 ground beef, shrimp, whatever. A pound is 100 grams of protein. So if you need 200 grams, you need 2 pounds. And that's if you exclusively ate meat. I tend to eat over my 1 gram per pound. I like eating protein. It fills me up. I feel good on it. That's why I do it. If you don't eat as much, don't. Now we're back to the math. This is the last math equation we're gonna have to do. We have 2,000 calories, and we know we have.
He talked about protein, and he's completely right here. Protein is great for building muscles. Protein is what helps us recover, build muscles, get stronger. It's the most important thing when building muscles, protein. There's a lot of protein in eggs, meat like steak, ground beef, chicken, fish, pretty much all meat has a lot of protein. So eat high protein foods if you want to build muscles. It's also very good for losing fat because you feel like filled up, so you don't want to eat as much. And there are like carbs, like potatoes, rice, bread, which stores as fat. The carbs it gives energy. Energy stores as fat, but protein, it goes to the muscles. Protein is very powerful for like getting jacked. More muscles, less fat. So I would recommend just eating like a lot of meat, a lot of ground beef, a lot of steak, a lot of chicken. Like he said, so if you weigh around like 100, let's say 50 pounds, then 150 grams of protein per day at least. And I'm the same way. Like I love having protein. It makes me energetic, make me feel strong, have like mental clarity. I can also work on my business. If I have carbs, I can sometimes like feel tired, feel a bit weak. Like it's not nice. If you maybe know, if you have eaten like a lot of pasta, like a bowl of pasta, you feel a bit tired, you can't really work that good on your business. That's the case for me. I avoid eating a lot of pasta now. I've learned that lesson.
To eat 200 grams of protein. All you have to do is figure out what 2 pounds of meat you want to eat or where you want to get your 200 grams of protein from and figure out how many calories are in that thing. These 2 pounds of meat are both turkey. I eat turkey for both meals. Crazy. These are both 560. I know that that's 1120. That's how many calories I have of protein that I eat in my day. So I subtract my calories associated with those meals from my 2,000 in this example, and I would have 880 calories left over. Those 880 calories, here's the magic of how this works. You can do whatever you want with them. If you need to go out to a business dinner, you want to have drinks, cool. Well, cocktail's probably 150 calories. Have 2 of those and have a 500 calorie meal of whatever you want. Because again, you've already got your protein in. You could just stay at home and have an entire pint of ice cream that's 880 calories. Or each of these cookies is probably 400 calories. You could have 2 of them and that could be your dinner. It doesn't matter. And mind you, that's with a cut.
I need to talk about something here. He said you can eat whatever you want, only if it like fits your calories, if it fits your macros, like macronutrients. But that's not right. He's not thinking about the sugar, how the sugar is affecting like building muscles, losing fat. Because sugar decreases testosterone, and when we have less testosterone, we are more tired, build less muscles, gain more fat, have less energy to go to the gym, worse recovery. Having low testosterone is very bad for building muscles. And Alex Hormozi, he has very low testosterone. He said he had between like 70 nanograms to like 300 nanograms per deciliter. And that's very low. Like 300 up to 1000 is normal. But he had between 70 and 300. So he has very low testosterone. And yeah, this can be one of the reasons, because he's eating like ice cream, he's eating a lot of high sugar foods. That definitely decreases his testosterone. That's what you need to think about. It's not only about calories, it's about the protein. Like ice cream, candy, fast food, it has sugar. And sugar makes us build less muscle. You need to remind yourself of this. This is pretty obvious stuff. I don't know why he haven't like thought of that, or he ignores it, but this is something he could improve. Stop eating sugar, stop eating dessert. And Alex's testosterone is so low that he has taken TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, meaning he needed to go to like a doctor and boost his testosterone because it was so low. But you can get like high testosterone naturally. That's what I have done. Just from eating like a lot of meat, a lot of eggs, and avoiding like junk food, avoiding alcohol. He said he can take like a drink at a business meeting. That is not good for building muscles and losing fat. This is just facts. Like alcohol, sugar is bad for building muscles and losing fat. So don't fall for that. Sugar is bad, alcohol is bad. You shouldn't eat it if you want to get jacked. It's just simple.
That's with me trying to lose a pretty significant amount of weight. Now I actually maintain, because we're going to this third chunk, right? In this 13 to 15 chunk, if I multiply my body weight, I'm more than 200, but let's just say it's 200 for math's sake, times 15 is 3,000 calories. So I would have an extra 1,000 calories on top of that 1,000 if I did that same thing. Instead of having 2 of these cookies, I could have like 5 of these cookies for dinner, or I could have 2 of these bites and still have some food. I eat the same breakfast and lunch every day. I start my day with, let's call it a 200 calorie bar, you call it a brownie, it doesn't matter. If I'm traveling, I might not have this with me and I'll grab a Quest bar at the airport, right? 200 calories and 20 grams of protein, one of those bars. And then I have a shake, and this is 30 grams of protein and 160 calories. I'm in for 360 calories for my breakfast. I got 50 grams of protein knocked down already. Then I go to my lunch.
Having the same breakfast every day is actually very good. That's what I'm doing. I'm having 5 eggs, scramble them, cook them in butter, so I get protein and also boost my testosterone. And he got like 50 grams of protein. That's good. That's more than I have. The protein is good. And then like the source of protein is like protein shake and like a brownie. Doesn't look that healthy, but if it's working for him, I guess it's working. But it's not like optimal. It's not optimal. I understand like if you're traveling a lot, you can have it if you just want to get something quick. But like the best thing if you would get that protein from like eggs, meat. I know some people have steak for breakfast. That's crazy, but you can do that. Eggs, steak would be better than a brownie and like a protein shake. But overall, his breakfast is valid.
I have a pound of turkey, which we already know is 560, and I actually only eat half of one of these guys. 1 cup of rice. I now have 150 grams of protein and 1140 in terms of calories that I've eaten so far. Mind you, I have 3,000 calories just to maintain. All right, not bad. So now I go to dinner. Dinner is the big flex.
He said they had 1 pound of turkey, which is very good. It's around 450 grams, and it's around 100 grams of protein. 100 grams of protein is a lot to one meal. That's a protein bomb. It makes sense like why he's very big, because that one lunch, having that every day, it guarantees that you're gonna build muscles. If you have breakfast, then 100 grams of protein for lunch, yeah, and then dinner, if you just get in like 20-30 grams of protein, like you good. So he had turkey, but like steak, ground beef, chicken, just like whatever meat that you like steak and ground beef, those are the best. That will give you, and if you have like 450 grams, 1 pound of it, you will get 100 grams of protein. His lunch is very good. It's very good for building muscles, losing fat. Looks very good.
Next meal for me. Now, I also tend to eat a pound of protein at dinner. Do I need to? Absolutely not. Do I want to? Absolutely. I love eating protein. I feel good when I eat meat. If you didn't, let's say you were 150 pounds and you'd already eaten 150 grams of protein.
He said that he has another pound of turkey to dinner. That's very powerful. Another 100 grams of protein. It gets in a lot of protein, and it's high quality. Turkey is meat, is good protein. It's good protein. That dinner is also powerful. And high protein meals, high protein foods like meat, eggs, they're very good for building muscles and for losing fat, because you will build more muscles and you will burn fat from that. Eating a lot of protein, very good for losing fat and building muscles, getting jacked.
At this point, your entire dinner could be whatever you want. Pretty cool, all right? As long as it equaled out to the total amount of calories you want. And I do this also because then I'm full. If I just eat cookies, I'm usually not full. This has worked for a very long time. I actually had a couple of guys stop me and say, dude, you made this nutrition video and like I lost.
So that was his diet. High protein, try not high protein. He has a calorie goal he aims for, but overall the takeaway is have a high protein diet. That's very good, but don't just obsess over calories. You need to make sure you're not eating a lot of sugar, a lot of seed oils, a lot of unhealthy food. You can't, like he said he was eating like cookies, ice cream, but I would say no, don't do that if you're serious about building muscle, losing fat. You will make more progress if you avoid that shit because of the sugar, like I said before. But overall, he has a good diet. I'm not gonna lie, he has a good diet. Just that it's too much sugar. That's the thing he could improve. But this was it for this video. And if you want to know how my client Manny gained 17 pounds of muscles in 26 days as a business entrepreneur, watch this video right here. Become Jack, mother. Boom.